Hi guys, welcome back to the Sideburn Hunter. My isobutane test video has done so well I decided to make another test. Today we're testing the cheapest isobutane camping stove available on Amazon. When I purchased this, it cost $9.97. Today it's up to $10.99. How does it compare to other isobutane stoves? Today we're going to take a look at this new stove, but we're also going to compare it to my Olicamp Electron stove and to the Jetboil Flash. My first impression of this stove when I pulled it out of the box was it's small and it's light. I was amazed. I thought it'd be a much bigger unit for as cheap as it is. Taking a look at it, you can tell that the build quality isn't amazing. Some of the arms you can still see flashing around them where they stamped them. They're just cheap stamped steel parts. I think my Olicamp is something like titanium or stainless steel. So, that's a knock on it. Let me open it up here. Once it's all opened up, it opens up okay, and you get the arms will go reasonably even. You can tell they're not perfectly symmetrical. And then these little standoffs, they're not sitting down all at the same height. And then another thing I noticed is the diameter of these arms is very small compared to these other stoves. My Olicamp sits out nice and wide. This one's very narrow, and obviously the Jetboil is more of a system, and so that's not so much of a concern. I like that it does have a piezoelectric igniter, so you don't have to worry about bringing your own lighter with you. But as we look at these, when they pack down, you can see that this is a very small stove compared to my Olicamp. The Olicamp is a very small stove, but this AOTU packs down a lot smaller. Let's get a weight on these and see how this one compares. The AOTU weighs 94 grams. The Olicamp Electron weighs 108 grams. And just the stove portion of the Jetboil Flash weighs a whopping 143 grams. So the AOTU did have a 14 gram weight benefit over the Olicamp, and obviously the Jetboil is a lot heavier system. So if you're taking these into the backcountry, I consider going a different route other than the Jetboil. As far as price is concerned, $10.99 for the AOTU. My Olicamp Electron is worth $39.95, and the Jetboil Flash can be had for right about $100. But let's put some fuel in these and put them to the test. I have 3 brand new bottles of Coleman stove fuel. If you wonder why I chose the Coleman, check out my other video on testing the isobutane fuel canisters. Coleman is readily available and works just as good, at least at room temperature. I have 3 bottles of water that have been sitting in my basement. They're in a temperature-controlled environment, and they're at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to put a thermocouple under my pot and check the highest temperature that we get out of each of these stoves. Then we're going to see how long it takes for a pot of water to reach a boil. I'm going to consider 200 degrees Fahrenheit to be boiling at this altitude. Let's see how these do. The AOTU stove reached a maximum temperature of 1160 degrees Fahrenheit, boiling the water in 132 seconds. The Jetboil Flash reached a maximum temperature of 1093 degrees Fahrenheit, much cooler than the AOTU. However, it did beat the AOTU by 2 seconds, boiling the water in 130 seconds. The Olicamp Electron reached a maximum temperature of 1119 degrees Fahrenheit, boiling the water in a disappointing 157 seconds. The flame did detach from the burner on the AOTU. However, it did have good controllability and had the best simmer out of all of the stoves. It also has a very high temperature. The Jetboil flash, the flame remained attached to the burner even at high settings. However, the controllability was very poor. There's practically no simmer. I guess they didn't come up with the term Jetboil for nothing. It certainly did have the fastest boil. Checking the flame controllability of the Olicamp Electron, the flame did detach from the burner at high temperature settings. However, it did have an okay simmer. So, how did the cheapest stove on Amazon rate? You know, I think this is a pretty decent buy. It's very small and compact. That's part of the downsides of this stove, the stability is not there. Obviously, there's some quality that has to be sacrificed to make a stove at that price point, but overall, if you're willing to run a small pot, it'd be hard to beat a $10 stove like this. The flame controllability was quite good. It blew the Jetboil out of the water and was comparable to the Olicamp Electron. The flame was very hot on this AO2 and it resulted in a fast boil. You really couldn't beat this if you're willing to go super light and super small. The most expensive stove on this test, the Jetboil Flash, certainly lived up to its name. It was the fastest boil at 130 seconds, just over 2 minutes. Not bad. However, don't plan on simmering any foods with this stove. This is for boil only. During the test, I also noticed that the cozy is a liability. I roasted my brothers, a new one is already on the way. What about the Olicamp stove? Well, this has been my personal stove, and I still like it. Out of all of the ones I tested, I found this one to be the most versatile. Yes, it had a slightly slower boil, but it's very light compared to the Jetboil, and you have good flame controllability. So if you want a good all-arounder, I'd go with the Olicamp. During this test, I did experience some canister compatibility issues where this one wouldn't seat enough to allow gas to flow, so I had to try a couple different canisters. That's the first time I've had any issues with this stove, but it's something to note when dealing with the Coleman. I attached it to an MSR bottle and had no problems. So, what's my final answer? The AOTU is a good stove, especially at the price point. Keep a small pot on it and it's a great buy. I like the Jetboil if you only need to boil some water, and the Olicamp certainly is a versatile pick. Thank you for watching The Sideburn Hunter. If you liked this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Please check out my website at thesideBurnHunter.com. Until next time, you've been watching The Sideburn Hunter.